Stacking up daisies, got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah, just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep. I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel where we do talk all things true crime. My name is Tanya, or TitaniumBuilt. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. And if you're returning Titan, welcome back for another video. Thank you for joining me tonight, or I do appreciate it. Or actually, this will be coming out in the morning. So we're going to be talking about the Idaho 4 case tonight. If you're not familiar with that case, it is the brutal homicides that come out of Moscow, Idaho back in November of 2022. And there is a guy on trial right now, or getting ready to go on trial, Brian Kohlberger, for those 4 homicides. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's listen to see what Steve Goncalves said in his interview with Ashley Banfield, or I'm sorry, on Ashley Banfield's podcast with Brian Enton. So let me pull this up for you and we will get right to it. Also, I'm going to put pictures up. That way you guys have something visually to look at, because this is just the podcast. It's not the smaller clip. It's the full interview. So
there was a lot of new information that came out today. There was a lot of new information yesterday. These documents continue to be released now for the first time. I want to bring in now Steve Goncalves, who lost his daughter Kaylee in the King Road massacre. And we are also joined by the family's attorney, Shannon Gray. Steve and Shannon, it's always nice to see you. I'm sorry to have to read all of that right before going to you. I know that can't be easy. I'm curious, Steve, did you get any kind of heads up that this would be released late today?
No, we didn't hear a word, and my wife has said from the very beginning, when the hopefully the 911 never came out, and if it did come out, at least she would have, be some prepared. She has a counselor, she has people she could talk to. There's certain things that coping mechanisms. So we'd like for the advocate or somebody to kind of let us know what's going on, rather than nothing personal, but having the media tell you is probably not the same as having somebody that, that you've learned to have a relationship and you trust and you've worked with. So yeah, we're finding out just like everyone else. So it's a bit rough.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. And I remember that you had a meeting with them months ago, and I thought they were going to sort of give you guys a heads up when things were going to be released publicly. And I guess that didn't happen in this case, which is unfortunate. Is there anything, Steve, obviously the horror is what stands out to me, but was there anything in the text of the text messages or the call that really struck you?
What struck me is, it's not like Hollywood. It's not a scripted thing. It's not like what you would see on a TV set. That was a raw, emotional breakdown of 2 girls that were scared for their life. There's part of me that knows that, like how that house was, there's a lot of pranking going on. There's a lot of partying. So there's part of them that was probably thinking, is this a prank? Am I getting messed with? I know for a fact my daughter loved pranking people. So my heart goes out to those 2 girls. I'd have a hard time if I was one of their parents to have my daughter put through what they've been put through. I mean, we sat 2.5 years on what? Why did this need to be hidden from the public? Why did these girls have to be dragged through all this? These are the type of things that why I do these interviews and why we push back a little bit, because I think a lot of people are questioning right now why this was hidden.
Yeah, look, Shannon, it's been years and none of this is coming out until now. And now the judge has said that he wants more of this to become public. But Steve makes a good point. I mean, if this had just come out within the first couple of months, maybe it would have been easier on the survivors and the victims' families like the Goncalves.
Yeah, I mean, the prosecution's choice in keeping everything under wraps has been a decision that they've made from the get-go. They haven't wavered from it in any way. That being said, I mean, for lack of a better term, I'm just pissed. Common decency should have the Latah County prosecutor's office and the victims' advocates contact myself and the victims' families and let them know some of the stuff that's coming down and is being filed. So they're not just surprised by it, and just have a really just honest conversation with us about it. But none of that happens. And I'm frustrated and I'm pissed for myself and the family that I don't have a chance to explain those things to them, to give them a little bit of a heads up on, hey, these motions are filed this way and they may or may not be successful. If it is successful, who cares? Doesn't affect the case in some way, or my opinion on whether or not those motions might be filed or might be successful or not. But it's just really, really frustrating. And I know Steve and Christy are frustrated by it, but I'm the one that gets to say, I'm pissed, and I'm pissed for everybody. So.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they can't give you the documents ahead of time, it seems like they could at least give you a heads up to tell the family, hey, maybe don't watch the news for an hour. Give me a second to go through these and call you. It seems like that would be sort of a decent thing to do. Steve, what do you make of this latest motion where they're trying to ban words from coming out during trial? I mean, simple words like that are part of the case in murder, bushy eyebrows, sociopath, psychopath. Did this come as a surprise, Steve?
Yeah, I thought they'd have a sadistic on there from the profile that I know that they've made of him. Some of the websites that he's been to, that was one that rated really high with him. So I'm a little surprised they didn't put that word on there. But when you're super desperate, you really have nothing, you attack words and simple things like that. I mean, they're really done. I mean, their client has left so much evidence that they've got to attack words. So I guess it's a sign. It's a sign of what's to come. And hopefully the state, the prosecution is strong enough to see this all the way through and not give in to the desperation that's about to come and the plea deals that they're going to try to negotiate for.
Yeah, you talk about not giving in, and they've tried over and over again to get the death penalty thrown out. You've said in the past you would never go for a plea deal. Do you still feel that way? I mean, even though it would alleviate a trial and everything that you and the family would have to go through?
No, I definitely don't believe that. I've rallied the two other families. So there's three of us total. So yeah, we're standing solid on one thing. This person, this courtroom, this defense, they've put us through the ringer. They've made us leave our own community. They've made us travel all across the state that we live in. We have to get on an airplane. It's very hard. They've done everything to make this absolutely the hardest on us. So when you make those decisions, there should be you should be held accountable for those decisions. And again, this person isn't from the state of Idaho. This is an outsider who came to our state to wreak havoc. And I don't know why we would ever give somebody like that, who kills somebody while they're asleep in their beds, getting an education, why we would give that person a break.
Yeah. And, I guess we'll see how that develops. I mean, we know that hopefully they would consult with you and the other families before making any kind of decision about a plea deal. Just the last thing, Shannon, I'm curious what you think. This came out yesterday about them now saying that Bryan Kohberger is on the autism spectrum and that should somehow come into play now in terms of him not getting the death penalty. Were you expecting that to come into all of this, Shannon?
everything that you get on the fly, we get on the fly. So we had no idea about an autism diagnosis until the filings that came across. We didn't have any idea about, some of the other things in the motions, the text messages, the 911 call. Nothing has been shared with the family, with the defense. Once again, might be a good reason to maybe give us a call or shoot us an email just to say some of these things are to be coming down the road. Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, we've got it covered. These are the issues. This is the things we want to address. There's victims' rights statutes that are put in place for a reason. And it's not for them to just kind of stonewall the victims' families because they want to. And we really feel, like a lot of this stuff that was filed and the things that they've all been a surprise. So maybe in the future, fingers crossed, tie a knot, tie a bow, hang a lucky charm around your neck that maybe we get a phone call or an email that maybe gives us a heads up about what's going on in the case, rather than watching it on the news the next morning when it pops up on the calendar.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this isn't the first time we've had this conversation about you guys being surprised by something. Steve and Shannon, I really appreciate you coming on. Steve, as always, the way.
Let me know what you guys think below in the comments about this interview. How do you guys feel that the family members weren't even given the human decency of, just kind of letting them know, hey, we're going to release these major documents, because this isn't just like, this isn't petty. These aren't petty documents. These are the transcripts of the text messages that these two girls had in the middle of the night that we didn't even know that they had for sure. We didn't know 100% that they were texting. Now we do. We also didn't know 100% about the 911 call, and now we do. And those are two really big things I feel like the families should have been privy to before the internet was. But that's just me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I will see you guys all later this evening on the live. And thank you for so much for being here today. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.